Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels. Feels weird to say welcome back. I've been recording pretty much continuously since the interview with Adam Rose and Magenta King, which I don't know how quickly Tyler will get everything up. He just got caught up, so he's going to love the fact that I'm sending him three recordings today on a Monday, no less. It's not even like it's a weekend where I'm sending him three recordings. Three recordings after 5 o'clock on Monday. Tyler's going to love me. Though I will toss out, we should introduce the show. This is Visionaries and Inquiries with Psychocomicology, talking about the works of Tom King. Tonight it will be a Mega Men, and we have Larry Woods and Dr. Edgar Ramos here with us. Lee, also known as Larry, also known as That Dude, is wearing a sweet Superman shirt today. So, like, uh, that's have we done super? We haven't done Up in the Sky yet. Yeah, we haven't gotten to Tom King's Superman yet. You're getting ahead of yourself.
I am. I'm really excited about it though.
It's fucking great. Um, so with any luck, we will get this up in plenty of time for people to listen to it and go to their their first, hopefully annual. You got to come up with a good name for it. Right now, you're just calling it MiniCon. We got to come up with a name.
Call it MiniCon 25, but we're gonna see how it kind of plays out and see what name kind of fits.
Yeah, but
We're
the Psychocomicology MiniCon, and where is it? Oak Park. Give me a
All the deets.
You want?
yeah.
Oh
If
my
we're
God,
plugging it, we should give details.
definitely
You don't
should.
you don't know them off the top of your head yet?
No, I'm not that.
Well,
In,
this is part of the problem, Edgar.
no, let me see. Let me pull something out. You guys
You're
don't.
clearly not plugging it to every one of your patients, which
The
you should
first
be.
thing, the first thing to know is that it's July 5th. MiniCon
July 5th, Saturday.
July 5th, the day after 4th of July.
Yeah.
It will be from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we are having it in the Oak Park area. It's going to be held at the 19th Century Charitable Association on the second floor. I think by our last count, we have about 30 vendors.
So it's at 178 Forest Avenue, Oak Park, Illinois, 60301, from about 10:30 to 6 o'clock. And we have a little over
Wait
30.
a minute. Larry just said 10 to 7.
Yeah, I 'cause I'm never on time, but we can do 10 to 6, 10. We can do 10:30 to 6. It's between 10 and 7. That makes it 7.
If you show up at 10 and the doors aren't open yet, the name is Dr. Edgar Ramos.
I will I will treat them and handle that situation. We'll have a diverse group of vendors. We have quite a few comic vendors. So for the comic people, we will have a lot of artists. We have toys, games, soaps, leatherwork. We will have some local providers in the Oak Park area. Some featured comic people that we'll have in terms of vendors. We'll have Beyond Tomorrow Comics, Thunder Comics will be there. One Stop Comics, who's a local vendor in the Oak Park area. We'll have Midwest Collectibles, Gamers Paradise. Those are some of our vendors that we will have there. We'll even have some baked goods there. We'll have, obviously, we will be there. We'll have Spicy Banda Creations
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to be there? I'm not coming then.
be there. We will have some mental health resources for individuals. The thing that I really want to highlight is we will also have a costume contest and a family costume contest. About from 11:30 is the kids costume contest. At 3 o'clock is the family costume contest. We will have it to where every kid, depending on how many kids we get, will get some kind of prize. So there will be no losers there. Everybody will get a prize. Obviously, the main winner will get something a little bit bigger, but we will have
Wait a minute. No losers. You're giving away.
everybody will have something. Every kid is a winner.
I mean, Dr. Ramos, this seems very un-American.
I think it's very American. Um,
This sounds like participation awards to me.
Well, it is partly participation. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but it's isn't that the goal is to at least participate?
Yes, yes, yes. But I'm trying to put on I'm trying to I hear that the people at Fox News make lots of money, and since Gavin Newsom just sued them for almost $1 billion, and the last time that happened, they had to fire Tucker Carlson. So I figure they're going to have an opening sometime soon, and if I want to go fill it, I gotta know what's properly American.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd have to figure out what does it mean to be American now?
Um.
Ed, I appreciate you so much.
You know, since I've got the heavy metal cap on a little bit, and this is going back, but uh Metal Hurlant, which is the precursor to heavy metal, also just relaunched. And in their first issue, they reprinted an interview from Alan Moore in, like, I want to say 2020. And he gets asked about cancel culture, and he's like, you know, all the stuff that we talk about, you couldn't do that today, seems to be getting reprinted a lot. So I think when the people talking about this sort of thing are really saying, I remember a time where I could say this stuff and not have people call me an asshole. Didn't mean that they weren't an asshole.
Yeah.
I want to be able to make jokes that hurt people and not have anybody call me an asshole. That's what they really mean.
Yeah, see, I don't mind if they call me an asshole. No, I make jokes.
Well, and see, that's the point. If you really understand and mean free speech, when you say free speech, what that means is I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and if people don't like it, they are allowed to tell me,
Say what they want. Absolutely.
and they likely will, and that's the way it works. You know, free speech is not speech free of consequences.
Thank
It's
you. Words right out of my
it,
mouth.
it's speech that hasn't been censored ahead of time. I mean, the other thing that he used way better words than I'm using, you know, so people should go pick up their Metal or Lot #1 so they can read the interview. But he's like, somehow they don't see the irony of when they're speaking on a nationally broadcast or often internationally broadcast news program about how they're not allowed to express their opinions anymore.
I don't know what I can say.
Uh,
I'm looking at my
A
film.
Mega Man, a Mega Man.
So Mega Man. Can I just say it is the space age version of Sheriff of Babylon?
Yeah,
It's the space opera of Sheriff of Babylon. It's
yeah.
I'm like, I know we talked about my opinion on Sheriff of Babylon, but I really did enjoy Omega Man. I enjoyed Sheriff of Babylon, but it wasn't my favorite. But this was like the space age version. I'm like, all right, I'm noticing a theme here.
Well, and if Sheriff of Babylon was about U.S. intervention in Iraq and not really knowing what they were doing and the human parts of it, this is
I mean, isn't this Earth's intervention with Kyle Rayner? Like
well, but what I was about to say, this is 60 years of Israel Palestine and the humans involved.
no, it's funny because I'll add this with Tom King is that he does so well. Like he starts off with like killing, this fake, video of killing Kyle Rayner.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my God, that's straight out of like watching, terrorism on
Yep.
like wow, like so you kind of had that semblance, and it's just like, oh, here we go, here we go. It's like ultimately, it's like, all right, are they? Wait, are they bad or are they good? Like, I'm not sure. Like, should I like them? Should I hate them? I'm not quite sure. I'm like, I kind of like them. I like the characters, but they're also like, wait a minute, they're putting enslaved.
Well, And like seriously, we killed an entire planet for its resources.
Yep.
Multiple,
Oil.
multiple. Yeah.
Hmm. I noticed that there's a common theme with Tom King, with a lot of these stories is the idea of moralities. Like there is no absolute moral. It's like the question, it's the existential crisis of your morality. Like, and then it kind of had me to think about, well, is is morality the same on different galaxies and different, planets? Like it's measured through the eyes of an Earth person, obviously Tom King, writing what morality is, but it's almost kind of hard to wrap your mind around. Like, well, we're viewing it around our own understanding of morality, but how is morality during all these other species? Like, do they have the same sense?
Well, even without going to the other species or other cultures or whatnot, like one of the things that always drives me up the wall when we have our shock and awe is like we experienced shock and awe in the United States. Did that make us decide to give up? Did we go, oh my God, towers fell in New York. We'd better do whatever they ask us to. But yet, there's this idea that when we do it to them, they go, oh my God, we're all going to die if we don't do what they ask us to. It seems like whatever, particularly when you're talking, in this case, interstellar, but to a certain extent, international politics, international war, particularly war type politics, but really politics, period. It's like we assume that their motivations will be different from ours. And there are elements of that being true, but often not on like a big, big level. I mean, in general, you blow up somebody's house, they're not gonna like you. They're
Depends how
not.
well insured it is.
Okay. That's why I said in general.
That might help actually in some cases.
Let me rephrase. You blow up somebody's house with their wife and kids in it.
Yeah, that changes it. Yeah.
You are not likely making somebody who will be anything other than your enemy.
Mhm. Yep. Did you guys get or see and I want to verbalize this carefully because I don't want to spark controversy or not, but the
Hi,
propaganda.
Mom. Hi, Adam. Hi, Britt. Hi, John. Those are our listeners. I don't actually, I think we might actually, we just switched hosting services, so I'm getting better data. We might have more listeners than that, but it's still a funny joke.
That was using it like when they use like the White Lantern as like this propaganda machine, they twisted the symbol and symbolism behind it and the Omega. Like I the funny thing I started like paralleling is fucking Nazism and Hitler,
Yeah.
changing the symbol
Yeah.
and making I think it was like an Indian symbol,
Toughest.
or
Yeah.
was it Buddhist, or I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Don't misquote me on that. But it changed that symbol into like it's a bad symbol now, and it changed the symbol for hope and all that. So I'm like, holy cow! Like Tom King is really good at like how what he saw and what he must have experienced while being in the CIA and putting it into press. Like it was that whole machine, that whole propaganda machine, kind of being
Hmm.
out, but like in a space age drama. And it's like, is that what's
Yeah.
later? Like, it was really well done. Like, because you didn't know, like, it was so hidden truths and hidden messages that you didn't know, like, well, they're kind of good, they're doing it for the right reason, but
Are
and then you're
they?
like, but, is it really like, do you have to do it that? Like, so like I was stuck in I don't know if I love or hate them.
Yeah.
I was stuck. Like,
Yeah.
no, and we're just talking about them as a whole. I haven't even looked at like each character in there, like what they went, individually. I'm looking at it as Mega Man as a whole was kind of hard.
Well, and how about when you get to the end and it's like, oh, we need to genocide another planet or this thing that the entire universe needs to prevent their planets from being destroyed is unavailable.
You know,
Do you trade a planet for the other planets in the universe?
it's just kind of
For that matter, the unspoken thing is, are those planets dying because they have to die, or are they dying because they didn't take good enough care of them?
so. What is the greater good?
Right,
That's the ultimate question. I think you're like
right.
the greater and it's funny because I didn't have an answer. Like, what's the answer?
No,
Like, and it's like I'd hate to have to actually answer that question. What is the greater good? Like it's beyond politics to me. It was beyond. It's just this. It made you question your own moral reasoning, your own understanding. Your moral absolutism. This what would you do if you had to make that decision? What would you do?
Yeah, and it's similar to the greater good, but for me, it was the question: do the ends justify the means? Because
all of the above.
definitely felt conflicted. Like it was weird to me because I'm like, okay, again, wonderfully written alphas and omegas, and then omegas were like portrayed as the bad people, the bad group. But then I understood their struggle. I understood the
Right.
reasoning. And then
I
by the
mean,
I got to the point where I liked them, like the
right.
next issue was just like, oh, they're assholes. Like it sort
Well,
of
I mean, again, our real world parallel, and for that matter, in the version I read, because I read the deluxe edition, and Tom wrote an afterword where he's explicit about it. This is Israel Palestine, right? Um,
In space.
yeah, well, yeah, um, but like so many people, I mean, just over the last 3 years now, how many people have trouble holding the two things in their head? Terrorist actions, particularly those of October 7th, are absolutely positively not okay.
Horrendous, huh?
But neither is apartheid.
I say genocide isn't okay either.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know,
Shooting people when they're coming to get food is not okay. Keeping them from getting food is not okay.
healthcare, and
Right. Um,
like yeah, like it's a hard debate, and it's funny because I don't know how we selected our books at the time frame, but it's so relevant right now. Like, I just
I
don't know.
mean, we're actually just going through them chronologically in order of how they came out. So it's dumb luck.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm like that's what's so funny about it. It really is a timely, like,
Yeah.
this. How old is this book? Is it 12, 15 years?
Not that old.
well, if you need a reminder that history tends to repeat itself, here you go.
Right.
It wasn't 50 years ago. We're talking.
It still happened.
I mean, I feel like it was like 10 years ago.
Was it 10? It was
Um,
15.
of course, I managed to pull up the special edition that came out 5 years ago. We wanna know when. Yeah, 2015 and 16.
So it's been about 11 years.
Yeah. No, 9 and 10 years.
10 years.
Well,
It was the AV Club Onion favorite ongoing and serial comic of 2015.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not even that old,
No.
and it still holds a strong relevance.
I mean, again, in some ways, a greater relevance.
Hmm.
We were slightly more Cold War-ish with where things were
10 years ago.
with Israel Palestine 10 years ago. Um, this new round of um, absolute craziness really kind of came out of first the um, oh, what did they call the accords that normalized relations with like Saudi Arabia, etc. Where
Geneva's conference?
no, I
It's
don't
not.
remember right now. But essentially, when Jared Kushner went and didn't talk to the Palestinians at all, but like worked with Saudi Arabia and Israel to for that matter, moving the American embassy from Tel Aviv into Jerusalem was kind because that was the point where it's like, oh, we're not going to share your holy city with you because it's also our holy city.
Hmm.
Um, you started having more and more West Bank settlement that was allowed to go unchecked. Um, and again, like targeting civilians is horrible.
Hmm.
So, like, I want to make it abundantly clear that like I am not supporting terrorist actions on behalf of Palestinians, but like at a certain point, you also don't leave them with a lot of options other than, okay, we'll stop being a people. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
reminds me of this adage I learned growing up. Is this idea like you don't never try to corner uh, a scared animal
Right.
because again, you're the only way for them to get through. They're going to attack you to get out that way. So,
Or they give up and die.
or they give up and
Yeah. And that essentially seems to be what the preferred strategy has been, oh, why haven't you given up and died yet?
Hmm.
It seems to almost be our expectation, you know, or moved away, except that like I love it when it's like, oh, you could just move somewhere. It's like, okay, you understand that there's like a city in Jordan that's a refugee camp of Palestinians, and it's still a refugee camp because Jordan's like, no, we don't really have room for you, but you can have this refugee camp for 50 years.
Mhm. It kind of it's funny because it had a vague semblance to the Kree Skrull War in the
Yeah.
X. Where do you put the people at? Like where? So that it had a lot of parallels. It's
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna resettle everybody from Gaza. Well, are we willing to take them to the United States? I doubt it.
yep.
So who do we expect to say, "Hey, we'll take them. We'll take 4 million people," so that I mean, what's sad to me, because I finally actually dug into history after October 7th. This had been like the one international thing that it was like, I don't even want to know. I mean, you guys know how political I can be, how much I am an information junkie. And this was the one that just felt like such a bomb that I didn't even want to know. But after October 7th, I'm like, okay, I need to learn more about this. And yeah, there's horrible stuff on both sides, but like the part that frustrates me the most is 100 years ago there were Jews and Muslims and Christians living in that area as neighbors. that on one level, this all came about because after the Holocaust, the people of Europe said, "Oh, we need to take care of the Jews, but not by giving them their homes in Europe back. Let's go find them somewhere else to live." Oh, there's other people living there. We'll move them.
And hope for the best.
Right, right. And use whatever necessary propaganda we need to use through the years. Oh, we've got an oil crisis, bad Muslims. We need more oil. Um, and like, this is such an allegory for that. It's such an allegory for that.
Yeah, I mean, Tom King really like he made his work is relevant after all these years. It just really goes to show that a good story will continue to exist, will just continue to hold it's like a good song will continue, in different eras. That just tells you that it's just a good story. It's just a really good story. And the sad part is, and it's not against Tom King, is that it's sad to see that the tools used are still the same tools that are used. It's like we're still falling victim to these same tools. The propaganda machine still exists. It doesn't go away. The martyrs still exist. The twisting of symbols and changing of symbols still exists. The idea of war, good or evil, still like
Yeah.
it's an ongoing. He essentially pulled, classic themes and just kind of translated them into futuristic aspects, and then utilized his real world experience and threw it at us, and threw it hard. Let me say, threw it really hard. On a side note, Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
So I've never been a Kyle Rayner fan. I have to be honest. I'm a Hal Jordan. I'm pro Hal Jordan. That's my Green Lantern.
John Stewart, baby.
You know, mine was, Hal Jordan, and then I'd have to say Jessica Cruz is probably my second. Those two have been my Green Lanterns. So I never really got into Kyle Rayner, and I actually don't mind. What's the Super haircut guy?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, what's his name? Nathan Fillion is playing him in Super.
Yes.
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. I don't mind Guy Gardner actually because he's such a jerk that I kind of like him. I loved him in Human Target,
Hmm.
by the way. Which will be something that we read.
Yep.
I never really got
It's like a year away, but we will.
so it really made me empathize with Kyle because he comes like, and I always see him as a kid, like he's just a young kid, Green Lantern. He goes in there and he's trying to play the mediator, the politician, like, well, how do and what happens at the end? He joins, like he becomes
Yeah.
one of them, and it's
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck just happened? Like like you can see him evolve, like his moral absolutism just it became ambiguous. Like he totally had to shift his mind frame, his mindset. Like whoa, and it just really was nice to see that. Like, huh, like he's not perfect.
Hmm.
He's not this little kid. Like it seemed like he grew up for me in that little section. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of add that particular character. That's
Yeah, because I'll be the first to admit I don't or I haven't read a lot of DC comics. So like this is probably one of the first comics I've read specifically for Green Lantern. Um, and one of the things that really stood out to me, which this is part of my ignorance, so I am kind of asking, but the White Lantern, like, didn't he reference himself as a White Lantern because he's able to experience all of the sort of emotions?
That's the way I understand it. I haven't read enough outside of it. I don't know anything other than what's right here.
Gotcha.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
only vaguely knew that there were lanterns that weren't green
Yeah, so I have
until this.
familiarity with it, but he's essentially like he's become like he's kind of like the all-encompassing lantern now. Like
Mhm.
you have the red lanterns who are like rage, and then you have obviously Sinestro is yellow,
Mhm.
driven on fear. So he's white because he's all the
Obviously, who's Sinestro?
uh, it's pretty cool, But
Okay.
But I will admit, I had that sense of like, of course, he's the White Lantern is the, the prime Lantern. I'm like, really? Like, really? Because
I mean, the one argument is that the colors put together become white.
yeah.
Hmm. Well, the part
So
that
he's all the colors together rather than the absence of colors. That would be the Black Lantern.
that makes sense. So for me, what stood out was that, especially in those that few panels that stood out to me, was Kyle was struggling with this, right? So he's able to experience all the emotions, and yet he was almost like confused by the sort of movement of the Omega Men. And like for me, never mind the fact that he joined them, it was more of like, wow. So you have this one guy that experiences all of these different emotions, and he he's a Green Lantern. He's supposed to be a superhero, and he joins them. Like that was very confusing for me. And I wonder, like, especially for the one, how y'all took that. Like, what did that mean to you? Because for me, it showed, and I'm putting myself back in that mindset as I was reading it, was I definitely felt like, I don't want to say angry, it's too strong of an emotion or a feeling word, but I felt irritated. It's like you're a superhero and like you're supposed to be sort of like hold your ground in a way. And that maybe goes,
But at the same time, he's realizing that they might have a noble cause.
Well, I think he started to realize what is his ground. That was the
Right,
ground. Whose ground
right.
is that? That reality started to hit him. Is that
mhm,
who is he defending? What is he defending? So that's his idea of his morality. Is that his moral compass? He had an existential crisis in questioning his own morality, like his own, well, where do I stand?
mhm,
Like does the end justify the mean, essentially is what you said. And,
mhm.
what is good, what is evil? Like in time of war, what is right? Like
Who gets to decide? I mean, one of the questions that's occasionally tackled in Superman is like, uh, you can save a cat from a tree, but you won't go out and stop a war.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't
But
that
on the flip side, like, do you really get to stop a war? Is Superman in a position where he can morally decide how things should be adjudicated to end a war?
well, I mean, let's think of DC Comics what is it, Green Lantern, Green Arrow, what is it, 76, Neil Adams?
Yeah. Huh?
What is that, the awakening or the consciousness?
That
Where
the hard traveling heroes.
And for those that don't aren't familiar, are you familiar with it? So that's the one where basically you had Green Lantern, who's this space police
Yeah.
essentially, like throughout the universes, whatnot. And Green Arrow is just like kind of watching him, and just watching and watching him. And then they go back to this apartment building, and the people in there, and it's funny because the people that are drawn are persons of color,
Yeah.
and they're starting to yell at Green Lantern. They're like, you can go out to other universes and save all these people and save all these planets, but what have you done here? What have you done for people like us? And Green Arrows is like, giving him the same spiel, like, all this power, all this might, but you can't solve the problems here on the street, and alluding to like racism and social class. And it's such a powerful comic. Like that was one of the first comics that brought social consciousness. The idea of if Superman can destroy a planet, but he can't stop racism,
Yeah.
he can't stop these street level injustices or societal injustices. I think what Tad alluded
Right.
to, like, so that's what brought consciousness to comics, and then from there on, comics really exploded with talking about social injustice. Now they've always hit on social injustice, but in a very hidden format. When you think of like Stan Lee with X-Men and whatnot, like there's always been social consciousness in comics, but at a very kind of like Nostradamus kind of format. Like, you had to read between.
Well, and I mean, like all things, we build on the past. So I think there's been an element of every time we ask a new question, then you start to ask the next question. Kind of the next question from Hard Traveling Heroes was like Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. At what point is vigilantism fascism?
And I think, and I think that was really kind of interesting to see. But and when you think about like Iron Man,
Yeah.
is he a fascist?
Mhm.
Fascist. Like
Yeah.
when you think about it, like like so it raises a lot of points to understand. I think that that comic is if you're a collector, that has to be in your repertoire, and if you're an avid reader, that has to be something you have read. Like it's
Mhm.
really pivotal, like to have that particular comic. I am an owner of,
Uh,
it, by the way.
I mean, the upside is you can get the collection of the Green Arrow and Green Lantern by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams, so you don't have to go find the individual comic. You can buy yourself a nice
And it has the one where
collector's
Speedy's on
edition.
drugs, so it's a drug awareness on there.
Okay.
He's like,
Yep,
Ward is a druggie, like that's
yep.
forgot what that was like an issue later or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That was a little whiles later, but yeah, it was during their run.
Wow. Okay.
yeah,
I mean, I think their run was like 2 years.
was it two
I mean,
years?
it wasn't short. Um,
But yeah,
yeah,
it raised comic awareness. Like I give credit to those to have when people like Tom King are writing, it's those comics that open the doors.
Mhm.
Alan Moore with The Watchmen, V for Vendetta, like all those
Mhm.
open the doors for social consciousness in comics. And I think Ted, you said it well, is that you ask the next question
Yeah.
and the following.
hmm
Thing.
hmm
I have no doubt that Tom King credits all them,
Oh yeah.
for he
Tom
brought.
King still insists that all of them are better than him, and I don't know that that's as defensible as it once was.
I think Tom King is in line with some of the greats now. Like
Yeah.
he's on that totem. But
Um,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean,
we just brought up Denny O'Neil, and it was mentioned on my podcast yesterday, our pulp blotter, and it's worth mentioning every opportunity we can that Denny O'Neil is probably not only a top five comic writer in history, but like the unsung top five comic
right,
writer in history. Um, Denny O'Neil really took his journalism background and progressive tendencies and brought them to comics in some really outstanding ways. In Green Arrow, in Batman, in Daredevil, The Question. Yeah.
Yeah. So like especially for me in that moment and yeah, just a testament to Tom King's writing, it definitely evoked that irritation within me to see
Yeah.
Colin go through that. But also I know for me, and especially when I find myself not knowing what to do, I definitely find myself getting frustrated. Like I will get angry, and it's just simply from being confused or not knowing what to do. So it's
story of your life, please.
uh,
Story of your life.
let me just process it here on this podcast, Tad, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that was something that, again, through my own sort of process, like, why did that make me so frustrated? I mean, I don't know Green Arrow. I spent a lot of time just like
Green
rereading,
Arrow, Green Lantern.
excuse me, Green
Green
Lantern.
Lantern.
Yeah, I
White
got great.
Lantern, White Lantern or Green Lantern?
That's also that one. Uh, Not knowing this sort of DC lore, I was finding myself, okay, like I had to reread this panel. I had to reread this, maybe look this up. But just that sort of sequence of events alone was just like, yeah, that's exactly what I would have done. Like, yeah, I had this expectation of you as a hero, as a superhero, but yet here you are. I would react the same exact way. So that for me was like a cool sort of realization.
So Lee is also a superhero?
That's what I'm saying.
So the
Um,
hero villain crisis. So then with that said, so then it's all about perspective. So is
yeah.
Thanos,
Mm,
so what Thanos was doing, was that evil then? Or is that perspective?
I mean, it's tough.
Yep.
It's
And
tough.
Tom King intentionally does that, is that in these wars, like like you can tell that's something he battles with for what maybe
Well,
he.
I mean, I think as human beings, we want things to be black and white. We desperately want things to be black and white. And even more than that, we want it to be, once we decide that we are on a side, that that's the side that we're on. So when things are in vibrant color and shades of gray, and we're in a situation where we feel like maybe it's time to change our minds about something, it's really uncomfortable.
Look, if things are black and white, Ted, and there's no brown.
Okay, we want things to be brown and yellow.
No. Like, we have to change this language, you know. No, I've never been a
Well,
fan.
I was using it strictly in a color sense though. We want things to be polar.
Hmm. Okay.
Well,
We
because
want things to be absolute. We want it to either be all good or all bad.
but the things don't work in that construct in that
Oh,
way.
absolutely they don't. I was only talking about like that. That to me seems to be one of the most universal human struggles is what we want the world to be and what the world is, the way things actually work are very different. So I think that's where Lee was feeling uncomfortable, is that this superhero is supposed to be right. So the fact that a superhero might have to change their position on something is just deeply unsettling, because it reminds us that, oh, sometimes we also have to change our positions on things based on new information.
Yep. Yeah, it was for those of us that are old enough to remember The Dark Knight when Batman became darker. That's the
Yeah.
problem. Like that's when Daredevil, Born Again,
Hmm.
like when you start to see all these characters change, Superman, evolved. I mean, he keeps going back and forth, but yes, uh, a lot of these characters that have a good growth do that kind of flip flop. Yeah, Captain America. I mean,
Or evolution more than flip flop.
yeah,
I mean, every once in a while they're full on flip flops, but more times than not, it's
they have to grow.
yeah, it's growth. I mean, again, to put it to real world, Lee's a youngster, so he may or may not actually remember um, the John Kerry George Bush election, where it was all about Kerry had flip flopped on the Iraq War. First he voted for it, then he voted against it. He's a flip-flopper, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there going, okay, he voted for it when he had this information, then he got new information and he voted against it. Isn't that what you want? Why on earth would you want anybody in a position of power who was not willing to change their mind based on new information? Why is flip-flopping bad in a leader?
Because it's scary. Because then
Exactly.
it shows, or to some, it assumes that they're not decisive,
Yeah.
that they don't stand their ground on one decision and carry it out to the end. It's scary for people. People want
And
one side,
and that's how we get genocide.
people want one side or the other and stand by it to the end.
Right.
Change is difficult. It's fun
Yeah.
to almost live in an autistic kind of perception.
Yeah.
Like change
Yeah.
is bad.
That's what
Change is so hard. Yeah,
You know what I think is hilarious about
we
like
diagnose it as pathology.
Yep.
We live in a sense where change is bad, but when we see individuals who have difficulty with change, they're wrong. They're
see,
diagnosed.
see this is something I've noticed among um you know, full disclosure, as you know, I'm autistic. I work with autistic people. Um, like, I actually think that by and large, we're better at change than most of you neurodifficult people. We just need to understand why the change is happening. We're not good with change for change's sake. Like, you mess with our schedule, and there's no good reason to mess with our schedule except that you felt like doing something different. What the hell is wrong with you? But like if you explain to me that cutting my sandwich crossways rather than hot dog ways makes it easier for me not to eat the crust that I don't like, then I'm going to start then I'm going to have a new norm.
Mm.
Once I've decided to make the change, I'm willing to think about the change. I won't always accept it, but I'm willing to think about it. And if you convince me, I will wholeheartedly and seriously change. What I don't like is like this wishy-washy, like these things that you guys don't you neuro, and I love it that my wife sent me a meme from some autistic mom whose kid had said something about somebody being neurodifficult, and she's like, and I'm using that for neurotypical people from now on. You neurodifficult people who are like, oh, well, I decided to stop at Starbucks on the way today and there was a line, so we're starting late. No, we're not starting late. I'm actually the reverse. I don't take time seriously and like therefore it's like, why the hell do you care if we're starting at 9:03 or 9 o'clock? Why does that matter to you? What how did I disrespect you by getting here? What you didn't enjoy yourself on your phone while you were waiting for me?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back into what y'all mentioned before, right? In terms of the different worlds, the different cultures, this idea of again, Kyle Rayner looking at it from his sort of very human lens,
Yeah.
as by Tom King, of course. And it's like, again, for me, even as you're talking about that, Tad, is I grew up with this idea of if you're late, it's disrespectful. If
Right.
you're disrespectful, that's wrong. You don't disrespect people. So, like, just how seemingly simple the ideas are sort of brought up of what is right and what is wrong.
Well, it's funny,
Right.
but that's if you're late, it's disrespectful. But if you're early, it's also disrespectful. And if you're on time, you're anal.
Yeah.
So you can pathologize you can't be right because you pathologize if you're always late, that's a problem. If you're always early, that's a problem. And if you're on time, it's a problem. So there's like, what's the answer? Clinically, it's all, I mean, all of them could be pathology.
Yeah.
And frankly, I'm of the opinion that like if I'm being disrespectful towards you, not only are you going to know it, but I'm going to know it. So if I don't know it, then it's probably on you.
You know, my thing is that I don't know enough in this world yet to not be disrespectful. That it's a constant evolution of I'm learning as I go too. Like not,
See, and I go the other way. I think that you should feel like that means you're not being disrespectful. The people who decide that they know so much of the world that they can decide that people are being disrespectful for them for unspoken things that like you can just go, oh, you were late, so you were disrespectful, or oh, you didn't look me in the eye, so you were disrespectful, or oh, you didn't wear a tie, so you were disrespectful, or oh, your hair is too long, so you're disrespectful to everybody you talk to on the entire planet.
Mm.
I mean, how is things that have little to no effect on others, and certainly things that aren't intended to have an effect on others, disrespect? I slap you across the face, that's disrespectful.
so are you saying there's intent?
I mean, if I slapped you across the face, I would assume there's some level of intent. That's not the sort of thing that happens on accident, is there?
Well, I mean, I'll never forget a time I was walking, my dad was yawning, lifted up his hands, and he cracked me in the mouth and busted my lip.
Mm.
But see, that's not slapping you across the face. That's yawning.
You know, like there's no intent. But
Right.
even with or without intent, the action still hurts.
Mm.
They do
Getting hit
sometimes.
still hurts.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah,
And one would hope that he felt bad about your pain.
oh yeah, oh yeah, my dad was just like,
And one would feel hope that you were able to separate your pain from his intent.
yeah, I just realized that I'm just glad I don't piss this man off if he can bust my lip just yawning, I'm just so glad I don't piss him off.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, like, I'll make sure not to piss him off. And I was like 15, 16 years old. I was already a grown kid. Like, nope, don't piss this guy off. I don't want to feel that blow in his when
Is that when you started considering the errors in your ways?
that's when I considered being better at doing what I do. And like, okay, I got to be a little bit more, creative. Uh, I got to leave in 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You got to leave in 2 minutes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta.
Well, no, no. I was actually going to say, I feel like we're in a good place. So does anybody have any closing comments other than like,
Read the book. Great book.
yeah, definitely worth reading. Definitely a fantastic allegory for situations where there are no clear good or bad guys, which,
I,
as it turns out, is most conflicts.
I would actually recommend don't read Sheriff of Babylon and Omega Men back to back. Give yourself something in the middle.
Can you imagine writing them at the same time?
Yeah. Like, well, I can imagine doing it because it's a similar theme, just in two different
Yeah,
environments. But it's a similar.
yeah.
But I wouldn't.
Because he was essentially writing them at the same time.
Yeah, just very,
Um,
very different environments. But great, yeah.
so
Team up.
next month we have, where is my list? I know it's somewhere in here. This is the other problem with recording so many podcasts is I wind up with lots and lot. There we go. Tom King reading order.
Batman Deluxe.
Uh, we get to start 3 months of Batman. And I'm hoping we can actually, that's like some heavy reading to do Batman in 3 months. But I
So,
feel like
see, let me
A, it moves
see.
pretty quickly,
Is
and
that
B,
I am Bane, I am suicide?
no, that is I am Bane, I am Suicide, well, actually, I think it's I am Gotham, I am Bane, I am Suicide. The
Rebirth.
deluxe edition books, I think, are 18 comics apiece.
Which one? I don't know if I gotta
Give me
look.
a second. They're the hardcovers.
Okay.
But I'll give you issue numbers in a second. Um, there's so many Batman series.
So it is Rebirth, right?
Yeah, we're doing Batman Rebirth. I love that Tom King has now done so much that even when you do a search on DC Infinite for Tom King and Batman, it's not the first thing that comes up.
Hmm.
It's like this would be terrible if like it's not on DC Unlimited right now. because I am not seeing it.
So I
That
think you
would
have
be,
Batman the Rebirth Deluxe Edition.
yeah.
Yeah.
Batman by Tom King. There we go. Yeah, deluxe edition book 1 and 2 takes us through, yeah, issue 32 and includes annual 1 and the Batman Rebirth issue. So, depending on whether you read them as the omnibus or,
There's an omnibus?
There's an omnibus.
well, no, I meant depending on whether you read them as the hardcovers or single issues, um, it's either Batman Rebirth Deluxe Edition books 1 and 2, or if you're doing it as the paperbacks, I think it's books 1 through 4. So yeah, each one of them has. So if we were doing them as the original paperbacks, it's I am Gotham, I am Suicide, I am Bane, and the War of Jokes and Riddles.
Oh, wait, so that is the one that says I am Gotham, I am Bane, that's the one we're talking about.
Right.
Ah, okay, I do
But
have
it's also the Rebirth Deluxe Edition Book 1 and the Rebirth Deluxe Edition Book 2.
it. Gotcha. Okay.
Because they got it's either 4 paperbacks or 2 hardcovers,
Okay, I have the paperbacks.
or 32 floppies. Actually, I think 34 floppies. So yeah, that's the plan for from now.
Okay. Sweet.
Only 30 issues of comics. We can do it. No problem. These actually go pretty fast, I think. They're so good. I haven't reread Tom King's Batman in a while. I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, thank you.
I'm enjoying every minute, every panel.
Yeah. Thank you again, and I'll see you on Saturday. We'll reconvene on Sunday for some joy, hope, resistance, and survival. Do a power bomb, and yeah. So for 22 panels, this has been Psychocomicology and the Visionaries and Inquiries Book Club, exploring the works of Tom King, and we will see you after the next page.